Have you ever heard about the word dementia? And do you even believe how deadly dementia could be? Just let me explain you about that. Like, have you heard about the Parkinson's disease as well? Often, as we advance to the age of 40 plus, we see people have the tendency of the dementia symptoms. And as they advance even more, the dementia symptoms grow even more deadly as well. And they can even advance to the Parkinson's disease. In order to overcome that and in order to screen them out, we have Cognisafe. But you might be thinking like we are a healthcare project. So are we backed with the proper medical supports and everything? Yes, we are backed with them. So under our canopy, we have the MBBS undergraduate Aditi Dash and one of the most renowned neurologists, Dr. Sambit Das. After an elongated discussion, we arrived at a conclusion that EEG cannot be implemented in the mobile. Why is that? We have four different kinds of lobes in our brain: frontal, occipital, parietal, and temporal, including 16 electrodes, and then reducing them to 7 electrodes and connecting them to mobile is not clinically viable. Why is that? Because EEG needs lab graded clinical test machines, but we cannot implement it through the mobile. We asked them, can we bridge anything between you and the patient which can be overcome via AI? The answer was gate analysis. So we have the flagship gate analysis through the IoT based sensors and everything, where we are tracking out all the vitals of the foot as well as the physical movement. We'll be explaining you shortly, and here we go with the next introduction.
As my friend Ashish have already introduced about our project Cognisafe, now I am going to tell you about the questionnaire part. So first I am going to tell you why we need the questionnaire part and what is the questionnaire part. Let's know about the questionnaire part. Why you are doing the questionnaire part? What's the importance of this? Basically, what we are doing, we are taking just simple questions from our patients who is going to use our model. We are taking their medical history, their past medical result, so that it will be helpful for our model to not to be biased. So let's take an example. Suppose a person is already having osteoarthritis and he is going to use our model gait analysis part, and the model will falsely predict that he will having the dementia. We don't want this. We want the test result and the past medical history should be merged, and after that it will give the result to you. So also let's take an example. Suppose a person is having verbal impairment or cognitive impairment from her birth, and he is using our model, then it will falsely detect that it is the person is having dementia. We don't want this. We make our model unbiased and it will give or predict the result fairly. That's the questionnaire part. Why? So it is the thing why we need the questionnaire part. It is the important that the person should give the test result, medical history earlier.
Another important component in our system is the MMSE, which is the mini mental state examination. This helps us access a person's memory, attentiveness, and awareness to its surroundings. In this, we ask very basic everyday questions like what is today's date, what is the season. This helps us check or identify whether a person responds and is responsive to its environment. This helps us identify early cognitive decline or confusion in a person's mind. To access the safety and ensure smooth processing, we have a lab assistant throughout the entire procedure. He helps and guides us throughout the assessments and the test, which ensures that the tests are conducted safely and smoothly entirely.
And then we have cognitive analysis, in which we'll analyze the hand-eye coordination and the coordination of sensory motor neurons, because we know dementia patient lacks hand-eye coordination. So we have designed such a website in which we have different kind of games where we will observe the reaction time, the response times, and as well as the errors made by the patients, so that we can observe the decline impairment of the cognitive patients.
While in the previous test you saw how we were detecting the sensory and the motor coordination of a person, the most important part when it comes to diagnosing a cognitive patient is the voice analysis part. For this, we have a test which is called as the voice analysis test, where it is segregated into two parts: the acoustic and the linguistic feature. While a normal person can speak in a really fluent type without taking minimal breaks or have a very low reaction speed, the cognitive patient will take a lot of pauses, have a very high reaction speed, along with the accuracy will be very low. For this, we have our test where we detect how many pauses a person basically takes, the reaction time, and also the accuracy of the person. This, along with all the tests, comes the showstopper of our project, the gait analysis, where we diagnose the anomalies in the walking part of a person.
Dementia doesn't only affect the speech of a person, but it also affects the walking speed and stability of a dementia patient. And that is why we have our final evaluation gait analysis. So this is a IoT model we have prepared to analyze the gait analysis of a person. By this, we are analyzing the stability. This is MPU sensor. We have placed two MPU sensors here, specifically MPU 6050 and a ESP32 for processing. It's a microcontroller, and there are two piezo sensors inside, one below the heel and one below the toe. So let me explain the functions of the sensors. Those two MPU sensors analyze the acceleration and angular velocity of the leg, and the piezo sensors detects the pressure that is inserted by the dementia patient. And now we proceed further with the unified results.
So as you can see on the screen, as she was walking normally, so there was no further deviations from and these dotted lines are basically the mean calibrations that we took from the mean readings, or let's say the average readings that we took from the calibration part. And the deviations are the measures that we are taking from the sensors. We have, as she explained, there are two sensors. We have the MPUs and we have the piezo's inside the feet, and then we can also see the acceleration readings, and we can also see the gyro readings, and we can also see the stance readings and everything. And here is the piezo measures, and we can see the cadence, stride, walk speed, tremor, etc. With this holistic results, what we can do is we can analyze these things and we can get a score of whether the walk was healthy or the gait analysis was healthy or the gait analysis was dangerous or critical with respect to the dementia vulnerability. So we proceed further with the revenue model as well. So as you saw the whole overview of our project, so now we'll be coming up to the revenue model. So you might be thinking, which parts are basically the revenue generating parts of our project? So currently moving forward, what we are is we are building a centralized window for the dementia screening system so as to bridge the gap between the patient and the neurologist who is going for the dementia screening. Now, why is that? The time taken by the neurologist for screening a dementia patient is very high because MMSE test needs to be checked one by one, and then cognitive test and verbal test, which when done manually takes a lot of time. So coming forward, as we saw the whole overview, what we can do is we can have a centralized window on a commission model to every hospitals that we have, which will be helping out the patients to screen the dementia at a very less time. And moving forward, we can also hire the doctors onto our platform such that directly the patients can come up to a platform, they can have the dementia screenings, and then they can book the consultations to the doctors that we have. And we can charge for each of the patient with a minimal cost of, we haven't decided yet, but will be decided soon as well. So moving forward, we'll also have the device that we currently had shown you right now was a prototyping model, but we'll be implementing it for both the legs and then also the waist part, such that we can also measure the bend part of the Parkinson diseases. Also, we have the emailing system in such a way that whenever a person or a patient books a consultation on our platform and does the test reports get directly sent into the doctor's email, and then the doctor can go through the email, go through the PDF, and then he or she can judge whether the patient should go for a minimal, let's say, dementia test or a dementia, like cure treatments and everything, or he or she needs to proceed further for MRI scans or CT scans and so on. So this is what we were talking about, the revenue model, and we conclude the whole introduction, the conclusion, and all the overview of our project. Hope you liked it, and we would also love to know that we would like to take this into the market so that it could be able to help out all the neurologists as well as the old age people who needs to have the dementia screen and get their test ready before it becomes deadly. Thank you.